Welcome to Reverse Mortgage Radio, hosted by Legend's very own reverse mortgage professor, Bruce Simmons. You have so many options with a reverse mortgage, everyone has a different opinion, and the government keeps changing the rules. You need to hear from the first certified reverse mortgage professional in Colorado to specialize exclusively in reverse mortgages, one of few in the state with the letters CRMP after his name. Bruce has the specific training and education you need to understand what you're buying. Now, here's your host, Bruce Simmons.
Welcome to Reverse Mortgage Radio, where we empower seniors and those who love them with smart financial insights. I'm Bruce Simmons, and I'm a reverse mortgage specialist with over 22 years' experience helping homeowners unlock the value in their homes without giving up title to their home or obligating them to a monthly mortgage payment. Today we're going to tackle the 5 biggest concerns senior homeowners face in retirement. And of course, since this is Reverse Mortgage Radio, how a reverse mortgage can offer real practical solutions. Whether you're a homeowner, a family member, or a professional advisor, you're going to want to hear this, okay? However, before we bite into the meat of the show, I should probably explain what a reverse mortgage is and how it works, just in case you haven't heard this show before. If you're brand new, welcome. I'm very glad you're here. A reverse mortgage is a loan program created by an act of Congress in 1987 and signed into law in 1988 by President Reagan as a benefit for senior homeowners who've earned that benefit through age and equity accumulation. You might think about it like the benefits a veteran gets with a VA loan. This is a benefit provided by the federal government for senior homeowners. In a nutshell, a reverse mortgage is an FHA insured loan. FHA is the Federal Housing Administration. The loan is not from the government, but it's insured by the Federal Housing Administration. And it allows seniors to tap into a portion of the value of their home that they can take without ever having to pay it back if they don't want to. They can, of course, but you could pay it if you want. You don't have to pay it if you don't want to, though. It's your decision. You're in charge. Unlike when you've got a regular traditional mortgage and somebody's lording over you, demanding you make this payment every single month. And if you don't, you're out of luck. You're in trouble. So with a reverse mortgage, you've got flexibility. But what it does is you can access a portion of the value and you never have to pay it back. Most people don't, but more and more people are beginning to. They're starting to see the benefits of making payments. And we probably should do a whole show on that at some point about how it works. But most people don't pay it back. As long as you live in the home and you have to pay your property taxes, you have to pay your homeowner's insurance, you have to occupy the home as your primary residence, you have to keep your name on title and maintain the home. As long as you do those 5 things, you never, ever, ever can be required to make a payment, and you can never be kicked out of the house. It doesn't matter if the property values drop dramatically, or if the interest rate skyrockets, or if unemployment goes crazy. Hopefully none of that's going to happen, but you never know. But it's your house. You could live there as long as you want. Any equity in the house is yours. There's no prepayment penalty. You can pay off the loan anytime you want. If you had to move and sell, you just simply sell the home. You pay off what's owed, the amount you borrowed, plus interest, because interest accrues on this loan. That's the thing a lot of people don't understand about how the loan works. It's what's called negative amortization. As long as you live in the home all this time, and if you choose not to make a payment, you're still charged interest, but that interest gets added to the loan balance. So every month your loan balance gets a little bit bigger and bigger and bigger. You have to be okay with that. I'm not going to make you a loan if you're not okay with that. And I'm very, very clear when we meet to explain how that works. Okay? But as long as you live there, you don't have to worry about it. Your home is paying you, basically. You're living there. Either you're not making a payment and you're accessing additional money, but sometimes you're just not making a payment and you've got extra money available. Sometimes if you've got a big mortgage payment, we have to pay off any existing mortgage that's on the house. if we pay off your existing mortgage and that's all the money that's available, then you just simply don't have to make a mortgage payment. It might save you $1,000, $1,200 a month or more. One lady I just closed a loan for up in the Conifer area. She wanted to, originally she was going to remodel her bathroom. She wanted to pay off her car and do a number of other things. When we first started the loan, I thought, well, I don't know. I think hopefully we'll have enough to pay off your mortgage. I wasn't 100% sure, but we were able, the interest rates came down a little bit while we were processing the loan. Now they went back up, but the nice thing about reverse mortgages is we lock in the rate at the lowest point from the point between application and closing. And she was able to get like $8,000 after paying off her mortgage, and we gave that to her, and she paid off her car and a couple other bills. So she was very happy with it, very satisfied customer. So anyways, there's a lot of options with reverse mortgages. Okay, if you have any questions about reverse mortgages, I want you to call me. You can reach me directly at 303-467-7821. That's my direct line, 303-467-7821. You can also visit me online at reversemortgageradio.net. reversemortgageradio.net. I've got a good website there. I've got video testimonials from existing customers, actual customers that did video testimonials for me. I've also got a 40-page form or a handout that you can download. You can get a free quote on there. Your information is not going to be sold. You do not have to give me your social security number or any of that stuff, but it'll give you an idea how much money we could loan you. And it's a great program. So anyways, visit me online at reversemortgageradio.net or call me at 303-467-7821. Now, let's jump into the meat of the show here. The 5 biggest concerns that senior homeowners face and, of course, how a reverse mortgage can help. First of all, we all know the number one concern people have is outliving your money. You don't want to be reliant on Social Security alone or a pension alone. You want to be able to have that as well as some other assets, hopefully. Hopefully you've got a few $100,000 or $50,000 or $1 million, whatever it is that you can rely on. But also, too, with a reverse mortgage, you might be able to add to that, okay? So let's start with the biggest concern, running out of money, because a lot of seniors are living well into their 80s and 90s, okay, but their retirement income wasn't designed to last that long. A reverse mortgage allows you to turn a portion of your home equity into cash. It's not taxable, okay, but you could take it as a lump sum, a monthly payment, a line of credit, or any combination. And the key is, though, of course, like I mentioned before, you don't have to make a monthly payment unless you choose to, and that's as long as you live in the home, okay? I remember I have a client, her name is Vicky, and she retired in her mid-60s. And she retired with what most people would say is a pretty good nest egg. She had about $1 million. Her financial advisor referred her to me. She was figuring that money had to last like 20 to 25 years because she was in her mid-60s, right? And she could live to be 90, 95 years old. So that's quite a ways that she has to make that money stretch. And she wanted to travel and live a good life while her health lasted. You know what I mean? She wanted to be active and doing things and just living the life that most people dream of when they retire, and very few get to do it. But she really liked the idea, I guess, of having a growing line of credit because she owned her home free and clear. So she was good. She very, very responsible financially. She's a super responsible person financially. And she had paid off her house. She had I think at the time, it was like 2018 or 2019 that we did this loan for her. And she had her own home free and clear. It was valued about $650,000. So it was a nice home because that was before all the appreciation from COVID. But she was able to leave that money in a line of credit and access it just whenever she needed it. And then for knowing her now, unfortunately, I'm trying to get better at staying in touch with my customers. But I haven't stayed in touch with her, unfortunately, because I know she kept a lot of money in the line of credit, or all of it in the line of credit, but she was going to access some for travel and maybe some for investments. I'm not sure. And my guess is that she still is doing well, living in her home, probably still living good, because that was just 6 or 7 years ago that we did the loan for her. So that would put her in her early 70s tops. My guess is she's still in good health and enjoying life with the benefit of a reverse mortgage. Okay. Concern number 2, healthcare and long-term care costs. Healthcare costs, we know this, that they are a huge unknown for retirees. And it doesn't matter if it's prescription drugs and you end up in the donut hole if they still have that, or it could be a hospital stay or in-home care. But medical bills rise so quickly and they can add up so much. And even if you've got great insurance, a lot of times there's still huge deductibles or parts that are not covered. Now, of course, in order to get a reverse mortgage or to keep the reverse mortgage, you have to be living in your home to keep it. But the loan, the reverse mortgage, can allow you to live there while you're getting the care that you need. And that's what's really good about this loan. I mean, I've mentioned it before about the lady. She lived in North Glen now this was back in the early 2000s, and she had Lou Gehrig's disease, and we were able to give her the money she needed to every month pay for in-home care so she could live in her home and die in her home. She wanted to pass away in her home. Nobody was going to change her from that viewpoint. But the nice thing is that she can, she was able to cover those expenses without liquidating other assets or going into a debt with a monthly payment. I've had clients use reverse mortgage proceeds to modify bathrooms or widen doorways or bring in caregivers to help to age safely in place. In fact, I'll never forget this one lady, Bertha is her name. She was 99 years old, 99. She was the oldest customer I ever did a reverse mortgage for. She lived in her home, 40, 50 years. And she had her neighbor coming over to help her. She was a sharp lady. Mentally, she was all there. She was able to move around with a walker. She was able to sign this 1.5-inch stack of paper as well. And she understood what she was doing. She was the neatest lady, but she needed money to pay for this neighbor lady of hers to help basically clean the house and cook for her and just help her out from time to time, drive her around if she needed it. And it's so funny. I think I've told this story before, but she called me the next year after I did the loan for her. I think I did the loan for her in either 2020 or 2021. And she called me a year later and she said that she had celebrated her 100th birthday. Everything went well, but she started getting some pain in her chest. She went to the doctor. The doctor said she had heart failure and recommended she talk to a heart specialist. The heart specialist said, "You don't have heart failure. If you had heart failure, you'd be dead." That's what he told her. And she said she was eating too many salty foods. So she said, this is what she said. So now I'm just eating my cakes and my pies and I'm living it. I'm loving life. And at 100 years old, what are you going to say, right? Nobody's going to tell you what you can't do. And she was just such a neat lady. I also did a loan for a lady that came to me through through her niece that lived here in Denver. And she lived in Arizona. She needed in-home care and she needed some repair work on her house. She needed to remodel a bathroom. We were able to take care of that. She had a small HELOC on her loan. So we paid off that HELOC, saving her a monthly payment. And she was able to pay for in-home care and to get her bathroom remodeled. Just there's so many uses that can allow you to live in your home and take care of yourself or pay other people to help take care of you, if you will. Okay. Number 3, the third most common concern that senior homeowners have is monthly mortgage or debt payments. I've got to say probably 85, typically on an average year, I do my numbers at the end of every year, but in every year, it's somewhere between 80 to 90% of the people I do loans for have either an existing home equity line of credit or an existing mortgage that we're paying off. just like the lady that lived up in the Conifer area. She had an existing mortgage, and we were able to pay it off, saving her $1,050 a month. And then she also was paying off her car payment, which was, I think, another $200+, saving her between $1,200 and $1,300 a month. Now, would you like an extra $1,200 or $1,300 a month that you don't have to pay anything on? We're not paying you that money, but you're keeping that money in your pocket. Whatever your mortgage payment is, the principal and interest portion of your mortgage, because you are still responsible, remember, to pay your own property taxes and homeowners insurance. If you call me and you say, hey, Bruce, my mortgage payment's $1,800 a month and I want to pay it off, I'm going to ask you, how much of that goes towards escrow or your homeowners insurance and taxes? And a lot of people don't know offhand. It helps if you have your mortgage statement handy, but you don't have to. We can get that later. But just so I could show you, okay, yeah, your taxes and insurance are $500 a month. That means your principal and interest portion of your payments are $1,300. And if you refinance back during 2020 timeframe on a 30-year term, and say you were 65 when you did that, you're going to be making that payment the rest of your life. You still have 25 years left on that payment. And if now you're 70, basically you're going to be paying that mortgage payment as long as you live in the home. Why not get a reverse mortgage, pay off that existing mortgage, and save yourself that money? Keep it in your pocket every month. Imagine the difference that could make to your lifestyle, or if you're helping friends or family, or if you want to travel. Even if we cannot give you any additional money, all we could do, let's say, is just pay off your mortgage payment, and you keep an extra $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 in your pocket, or even $900, $800 extra in your pocket. That's money that you can spend. That's real money. And with the inflation the way it's going, and the cost of everything, and now who knows if we're going to enter into a recession. I kind of think we probably will. I've been thinking we will for the last 2 years, though. Eventually, when people predict things negative, bad, like, oh, this recession is going to come, and what they don't tell you, they say, oh, yeah, I predicted the last recession in 2008. Well, you also predicted one in 2005, 6, and 7 that never came. So people just watch out when these people say things like that on the news or on the radio, and they're trying to sell you something, because anybody can predict something bad happen. They just predicted long enough and it's going to happen, right? Nobody predicted rates at 2%, but other people, they did predict recessions. Who knows? So anyways, the thing is, though, if you're carrying a traditional mortgage and payment and you're living on Social Security or a fixed income, that the payment is like a ball and chain. Maybe you want to live a better lifestyle. You want to be able to go out to lunch now and again. I know a coworker of mine, she's told me that she did a loan once for a lady. Her main thing is she wanted to join the Red Hat Club. And I don't remember what she said the cost was, but the lady couldn't afford to do that. And my friend was able to pay off her mortgage for her. And she was then able to afford to live the life she wanted to join this club, where they go out to lunch. However, I don't know how the Red Hat Club works exactly. I know it's a place where women go and have lunch and they wear their hats. But if that's what you want to do, you should be able to do that in retirement. You've worked your whole life, right? And you shouldn't be living like a pauper or worrying so much about cash. I talked to a lady today and was explaining the reverse mortgage to her. And she doesn't like where she lives currently. The HOA on her condo where she's at is increasing dramatically because probably because of property insurance that they're having to pay, and they were underfunded most likely. But still, I was explaining this to her and trying to tell her, okay, there's no mortgage payment, but you're still charged interest. And when I explained to her how that interest, she goes, oh no, that I'm going to have to worry about that. I'm going to worry about that interest going up. And I tried to explain to her, you're living this life. You can't sell that house and get enough equity and pay cash for something else. So you're either going to get a mortgage payment, and then you're going to have to worry about making that mortgage payment on your new place that you're planning on buying, or you could do a reverse mortgage and not and not have to worry about a payment. Because which is worse? Worrying about interest accruing on your loan if you're not making the payment, or worrying about making that mortgage payment, and if you don't, the bank's going to come and take your house. That's the biggest worry in my mind. I'm looking forward to the day when I can sell my house and buy my home with a reverse mortgage and not have to worry about ever making a mortgage payment again. I've been making a mortgage payment basically, since I was 20. I bought my first home when I think I was 27 years old, and I'm 60 tomorrow. Tomorrow is my birthday, actually. So I'm going to be 60, and I've been paying a mortgage this whole time. I've still got another 8 years or so on my mortgage. Hopefully I'll pay it off a little bit early, but I am looking forward to not making a mortgage payment. And odds are there's going to be a ton of equity in whatever house I get when I retire and buy a new house, one without stairs, and because right now I'm in a house I'm not going to retire in. But anyways, I think that makes so much sense, not having to worry about that, making that mortgage payment every month. I remember there's a video on my website from a customer. His name is Tom, and he was an art appraiser. His wife had died about a year before I was contacted by his CPA. He had a good friend who was a CPA. And he called me and said, hey, this Tom is in foreclosure. And I found out that basically it was his second marriage. And when his wife died, her kids came and basically cleaned out the bank accounts. They took stuff out of his house, some of the furniture and stuff. And he was in desperate situation. He was having some memory trouble. He wasn't full-blown dementia yet, but he had some memory problems. And his wife had paid all the bills. And he didn't know anything about how the bills were paid. He was an artist type. So he was, right-brained, I think, not left-brained. And the numbers just didn't make sense to him. So I worked with his CPA. He had a son in Grand Junction, I think, that wasn't really involved with him, but I involved the son. He knew what he was doing. I called the son and told him what the dad was in foreclosure and that we needed to do this. We were able to get him out of foreclosure and save him, and also create a monthly revenue stream for him. We were able to pay him some money every month. Now, this was back in 2017. Interest rates were low, and we were able to loan more money at that time. I was able to loan more money, and we still had to qualify him and everything. But nowadays, it's a little more difficult to do to handle that amount to pay off for somebody who's in foreclosure. It can be done, though. Okay, I've done it before, so just keep that in mind. If you're in dire straits, don't wait till the last minute, though, because then it's really difficult. But call me, see if it's possible. If it's not, I'll tell you, and you'll know, hey, I better sell my house. But okay, so we've talked about 3 of them. 4 is aging in place. Number 4, because so many seniors say that they want to age in place. They want to live in their home as long as they can. I've had people tell me over and over, they're going to carry me out of this house in a wooden box or feet first. And that's exactly what I plan to do when I get into my house, right? But it's the problem is that a lot of people, it's difficult for multiple reasons. The reverse mortgage can help, though. It provides funding to maintain the home. That's a huge factor. A lot of people let their home go because they don't have the money, or they don't have the money to pay somebody to do it, and make it more accessible, cover unexpected costs like furnace and water heaters when those go out. But you don't have to downsize if you don't want to. You can get a reverse mortgage. I had a customer in Boulder named Lillian. She had 2 kids, a daughter in Minnesota and a son who he taught skiing lessons up in the mountains. His name was Bruce as well. And he ended up passing away. He was still in his 50s. And I remember it was so difficult for Lillian because I got to know her over the years. I did the first loan for her like in 2004, and then we refinanced it in 2009. She owned her home free and clear. And we were able to make monthly payments for her. And she lived in her home until she was 93. I think she died in 2022. So about 18 years after she took her reverse mortgage, 17 or 18 years, her daughter called me and told me, yeah, my mom had went to the hospital, She was in the hospital one day and then she died. So she was able to live in her home with peace of mind, knowing that she had the money to take care of the house and even take care of her son when he was dying too. And so that just really hit me that this is just such a life-changing program. Okay, on to the last concern that people have. You want to leave a legacy. And so many people think, if I get a reverse mortgage, the bank's going to take my house when I die and I'm not going to have anything left for my family. No legacy. And that is just flat out wrong. Very, very seldom does that happen now, given the low loan amounts we're offering. We don't loan 70 or 80% of the value. So odds are there's going to be a lot of equity left in your home. It's possible that there is no equity left, but you're never going to leave a debt beyond the value of the home to your estate. Okay, so basically, a reverse mortgage can help so many senior homeowners because it's a safe, flexible, and a powerful financial tool. And it's about using the asset you already own, your home. And remember, by using that asset, it's not like selling stocks where now if you take out $50,000 and you only have $100,000, now that $50,000 is growing by itself. The home, if it's worth $500,000 and it's appreciating at 4% a year, that home is still appreciating based on $500,000, even if you take out $200,000 of it. So it's still appreciating at the full value. Okay, but you're creating freedom and peace of mind and options in retirement. And actually, peace of mind is the most powerful part of that previous sentence. A reverse mortgage can help you, it can help provide you with the peace of mind for all these issues we've talked about today, okay? I always say that a reverse mortgage is intended to relieve financial stress and provide peace of mind. And just hear me that you can still provide a legacy. And even while you're alive, too, because I remember I had a coworker years ago whose customer actually used the reverse mortgage proceeds to gift $20,000 to help her granddaughter start a business. Now, that's an amazing legacy, and it's not just money, but it's an opportunity she was giving to her granddaughter. And when the home was eventually sold, there was still equity left in her estate for whatever. So, I've heard it said this way. Think of it like this. Would you rather give with a warm hand or a cold hand? Okay. Like I was saying, it's super safe and flexible, and it just makes a lot of sense for so many people. If you're a homeowner, or let's say you're somebody listening and you work with seniors like a realtor or a financial advisor or elder law attorney, I'd love to talk with you about how we can collaborate to better serve your clients. And if you're someone who knows anyone who has any of these concerns, please have them call me or you call me, and we can have a discussion to see if a reverse mortgage might just be the solution. Well, thanks so much for joining me today. If you found this helpful, please share this program with someone you know that it could benefit, okay? You can reach me, call me directly at 303-467-7821. My name is Bruce Simmons. I'm the reverse mortgage manager with American Liberty Mortgage here in Denver, 303-467-7821, or visit me online at reversemortgageradio.net. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a great day tomorrow celebrating my birthday. Have a great day.
Call Bruce Simmons today. Ask about his free Colorado Consumer Guide, 303-467-7821, or reversemortgageradio.net. Bruce will come to you anywhere across the Front Range to make sure you understand how reverse mortgages work. Regulated by DORA. NMLS number 409914. American Liberty Mortgage is an equal housing lender.